Morning. Went to a 10 o'clock meeting. Nobody showed. Well, there were people there, and then people would show up and leave. And, if you're going to plan a meeting and you have it listed, can you fricking have it, please? Jeez. Totally unprotected, too. I mean, I could have easily just gone in there and just taken over. I could have made myself host and anything I wanted to do. Yeah. Jay, we're going to be talking about God consciousness. Yeah. I'm getting tired of people arguing with me. You're not required to listen to anything I do or say. You don't even have to be my friend. I put some pretty good things out there where you can have your say so and come in and talk, but nobody's taking advantage of that either. Right? So, I mean, I'm giving everyone a chance. And I don't do things in the community for certain people. That's not how it works. Thought I could find it, but I could not. The level of a big book, God Consciousness. Dude, I swear today you are just enough. God. Getting there. No, not consciousness, God consciousness. Not consciousness, God consciousness. It says it. I just don't remember where. Let's go ahead and read the spiritual experience. Let's just do that. And what do I feel? Hi, Patricia. What do I feel is the difference between a spiritual experience and God consciousness? Well, actually, let's do this. What is the meaning of God consciousness? With God consciousness, we are able to be centered and sensitive. Do you know how sensitive I am? Very. And I don't mean sensitive that if you pick on me, my feelings will get hurt. When I say sensitive, I'm talking about empathy. When you come on here, sometimes I can, if your feelings are big enough, I can feel them. When I podcast, I can feel your feelings. Your face is telling me everything. Your body is telling me everything that I need to know. Now, why can I do this? Because I removed me. Dion's not part of the equation in that. I'm a vessel. I'm the messenger. And you don't shoot the messenger. You don't argue with the messenger. That's silly. Okay? I'm all tired of people coming at me when I say, I believe in this. Hi, Lori. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. We're going to work through all this. I swear to God. This is hard shit, man. Helping other people is hard. Working the front lines is hard. And anybody that does it has my respect. I know I do a lot of talking. I know. So, and have balanced excellence in our thoughts and speech. Now, I'm still working on that. I don't know that my thoughts and speech are always the best. I'm not always the best at explaining things. Sometimes I have to re-explain because I may have said it wrong the first time. There's been plenty of times when somebody has said to me, Dion, it's not what you said, it was how you said it. It was the attitude that you gave me behind it. And back then my thought process was, well, that's your fucking problem. No, it's not. That's my problem. Okay? It wasn't just one person giving me unwarranted advice. No, they had a suggestion for me and I refused to listen. How we talk to people, how we approach people matters. If I approach people being a dick, they're not going to want to listen to me, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't want to listen to me when I'm being a dick either. Excellence in action, which I think is very, very 12 steps, an action that moves us towards more virtuous behavior. Well, what's virtuous? Let's find out. Hopefully it's in here. Hopefully. Virtuous. It is. It's in here. Yay. Righteous. I don't know. Righteous is morally excellent. Wayne's World popped into my head. That's why I started laughing. Like, morally excellent, man. Like, morally excellent. Noble, principled, ethical. What does noble mean? Look up noble. Noble. Noble, where are you? Nobel Prize is in here, but not Noble. Nobel Prize award for yearly Nobel Prize Foundation for outstanding achievements in various fields in promoting world peace. Yeah, I don't think AA has done anything with the Nobel Prize. But noble means, having a good set of morals and ethics and, um, meeting people, understanding that you meet people where they are at and then supply the needs. Is noble in the big book? It's got to be somewhere in there. But yeah, because this is the big book dictionary. But there's been plenty of words in the big book that. And Lori hasn't seen this before, so I'm going to point it out. But they misspelled anonymous. For the dictionary, they misspelled anonymous. We're read the Spiritual Experience 567. Higher moral principles, sure. Yeah. What I kind of like about AA is that there are all these different types of religions in it. Now, we're a spiritual people, sure, but it's neat to hear how these other religions relate to what we're doing. I try and see where, because I was pretty closed-minded when it came to religion. Even now, I'm getting more into what did Jesus do for us? What did he do for us? I like to follow his teachings too. Why? Because he was most excellent man. Oh, is it? Okay. Noble, which reveals moral value, elevation, greatness of soul, selfless, compassion, and generous. That's very much what we do. Very much what we do. Thank you, Patricia, for putting that up. Um, Now, does God consciousness mean that God talks directly to me? Probably not. Probably not. I think that I have some pretty good ideas, but then I have to run them by people to make sure that, you know, you ever have a really good idea, it comes out of your mouth and you're like, oh, strike that. I didn't mean that. Right. But there is a conscious feeling there. Like right now, I can feel God. I can feel him right now, and I can feel him whenever I do anything. And I feel that's the God consciousness. Um, I keep God in my hip pocket, and I do that because I run my mouth a lot. I do. I know that. I can't shut up. Isn't that I won't? I can't. I can, but I went to a meeting, so that I didn't do this, and nobody showed up, man. So all right. Tell me what you kind of feel like, what you think God consciousness is, because I have a feeling it's different. It's probably going to be different for you. And I don't want everybody to just have my experience on this. I think that would be silly. Um, and I don't feel like I did a good enough job. So I need your help. Spiritual experience. The term spiritual experience and spiritual awakening, I prefer spiritual awakening. I actually prefer that, but everybody else says spiritual experience, and I don't want to, you know, but I like the awakening because, I once was lost, but now I'm found, kind of a thing. My eyes were closed, but now I can see. Yeah. And it was a spiritual awakening. It didn't happen suddenly, but one day I turned around and realized that God was doing things for me that I had no idea about. Yeah. What's an esteemable thing? Doing something for somebody else without anybody knowing. Well, God does that all the time. All the time. Good morning. Are used many times in this book, which, upon careful reading, shows that the personality change sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism has manifested itself among us in many different forms. Yep. I mean, show me 10 alcoholics or 10 addicts that have recovered, and I'll show you 10 different experiences to recovery. You know, everybody kind of has their own experience, and it's specialized, it's individualized. I mean, which is what's great. Um, Yet it is true that our first printing gave many readers the impression that these personality changes or religious experiences must be in the nature of sudden and spectacular upheavals. Happily for everyone, including Dion, this conclusion is erroneous. Um, yeah, sudden revolutionary for Dion is not gonna. I can't do it. Sounds very uncomfortable to me. That, and I'm a reactive person. You know, if God gave me a burning bush, I'd probably throw water on it. It's kind of how I am. In the first few chapters, a number of sudden revolutionary changes are described. Though it was not our intention to create such an impression, many alcoholics have nevertheless concluded that in order to recover, they must acquire an immediate and overwhelming God consciousness followed at one by a vast change in feeling and outlook. All right. Well, they could have avoided that by putting Dr. Bob's story at the beginning instead of putting it on 185 or whatever. Hi, Ingrid. Good to see it. 6 people. What? What? I think that's the highest that number has ever been. Oh. Are you just really good at sitting still, Daryl, or are you stuck? Yeah. Well,
No, it's like I'm looking at something else.
oh, okay.
And
All right.
and
If you're
so
looking at
if I
something
do
else,
that, I guess this freezes.
yeah, pause. It'll pause your camera and stuff. Among our rapidly growing membership of thousands of alcoholics, such transformations, though frequent, are by no means the rule. Most of our experiences are what the psychologist William James calls the educational variety because they develop slowly over a period of time. Now, that slowly, they say it happens slowly over a period of time, but yet at the same time, AA is what I like to call a catalyst. Okay. In other words, it's going to make it happen faster because God is involved. They talk about that in the doctor's opinion, um, about how some of these men have recovered within a year, which would have taken them 3, 4 years to accomplish. But AA does these miraculous things to change people almost immediately. Because even for us, slowly means, I don't know what it would mean. To me, well, I'm 8 years and I'm still learning, so it must still be going. I must still be the educational variety. Um,
It's,
yeah, that's
hopefully that
about
never
where
stops.
yeah. So it's always going to be the educational variety for me. Yeah. Um, Quite often, friends of the newcomer are aware of the difference long before he is himself. Now, whenever I read that line, I always need to say this: if there's a newcomer and they're having a hard time, I know when I hear a newcomer, and maybe they're at 30, 60, 90 days, you know how it goes. You have several good days, and then there's that day that just fucking sucks, right? Tell them the changes that you've seen in them, and be honest. Don't give false compliments. People know about false compliments, and they won't listen to you. But tell them the changes that you've seen, and bring up progress and encourage them. I know you're going through this, but at the same time, you're at the meeting. You wouldn't have done that 3 months ago. You would have went out and drank. So good job. I'm impressed. I've got a little respect for that man. Give a little bit of encouragement. Yeah. Um, he finally realizes he has undergone a profound alteration in his reaction to life, that such a change could hardly have been brought about by himself alone. I call this the Karate Kid effect. Yeah. Mr. Miyagi, I'm not learning anything. I'm just doing all your chores and I've been painting and cleaning your cars. And he's all, oh yeah, wax on. What? What? And suddenly he knew karate. Bam. Right? So it's the Karate Kid effect. When you live with yourself, you're not going to see the changes. You know, it's like when you were a little kid, you saw your uncle. They're like, you're growing. You're like, no, I look exactly the same, but you look older. You know, see. Oh, actually, it was brought up right here. What often takes place in a few months could seldom have been accomplished by years of self discipline. With few exceptions, our members find that they have tapped an unsuspecting inner, inner resource, which they presently identify with their Dr. W. Bauer, I went too far, with their own conception of a power greater themselves. Yeah, don't put a teleprompter in front of me. I'll read what's on there. Gotta be careful. All right. So I found my higher power inside. It was an inside job. And I believe that. I believe that God lives in my heart because that's where, and I say that because of love. And when I think of love, I think of the heart. It goes together. So,
That's because you opened the door.
hmm yep, it was there the whole time. A great, a great example that would be footprints in the sand. If I'm sure everybody here has read it, God, how come during the hard times in my life, there's only one set of footprints? And God says, um, I wear size 11 and you wear size 6. Can you get a clue? Sorry. He said, I carried you the whole time. I thought mine was funnier. So, um, most of us think this awareness of a power greater than ourselves is the essence of a spiritual experience. Our more religious members call it God consciousness. Okay. Now, for me, I feel that it's different. And I'm saying I feel like it's different because it's a feeling, which doesn't make it fact. But it works for me. It works for me. Just like I prefer awareness over experience. Um, but it's to each their own. And that's why we give these different ways. Because what might grab your brain is going to be different than grabs my brain. That's why they give a bunch of different ways that you can start to find a higher power. You could use they bring up the group. They say he is the Father, we are the Son, he is the Creator, he is So you can look at it a lot of different ways. Personally, I prefer he is the Father and I am his Son. Um, I prefer that because I didn't have a father in my life. So that's the one that got me. And now I do have a father in my life, and he is God. Most emphatically, we wish to say that any alcoholic capable of honestly facing his problems in the light of our experience can recover, provided he does not close his mind to all spiritual concepts. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. Why is my phone going crazy? Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, when we all come together and we're doing things together, yes, it is very much a spiritual experience. But I appreciate the compliment also. Um, Now, it makes it an experience, a good experience because we all have the same intention, and that's helping other people out. That's what we really want. Or maybe we're in a bad mood, so we're coming here to change our attitude. Or, it could be a couple of different things. Maybe you saw God consciousness and you're like, yeah, I'd like to hear about that a little bit, even if he's way off. Okay, I'll take both. Um, we find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, and open mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. Great thing about those three, number one, they require no action and they're indispensable. And it is the how of the program: honesty, open mindedness, and willingness. Um, Now, I have found, and why are they indispensable? Because you're going to use them in every single thing that you do. These are part of the principles. And, I have to be honest with myself so that I am honest with other people. There's a principle, which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. Contempt prior to investigation. All
You,
right.
you said something earlier. Um, more or less saying if God just all of a sudden went poop, there I am, it would freak you out. I tell people, or I have said in the past, if a boy starts booming out of the skies, I'm probably gonna drink.
I'm gonna think I'm going crazy,
Right. That would
and I'm
freak
not
me
gonna
out.
say anything to
I
anybody
don't
because
do
I'm
burning
afraid they're
bush.
gonna. I'm sorry.
I didn't do burning bush either.
Yeah, yeah. And I wouldn't say anything to anybody either because I wouldn't want to be on a 72-hour hold.
Right.
I'm
That
scared of those.
that's
But
society today. There's a guy in the I don't know how people don't or how people do this that don't have God. There was a guy in a meeting um, that recently celebrated 41 years and
mhm,
said that he's an agnostic.
yeah,
I that baffles me.
yeah.
How do you
You know,
do that?
I don't quite understand either. Um, but if he's happy and doing what he's supposed to do, I
Right?
guess
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
for me
It,
to
it works
understand
for
that.
him. Obviously, 41 years.
Yeah,
Something's
that's the thing.
working.
It still works even though I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to sit one on one with him and say, "What is your higher power? Wow, how do you know,
Mhm,
what is it?"
yeah. Well, I've had
Because
some
if
people
it's a hockey
use.
puck, I just don't get it.
Yeah, an inanimate object, I don't really, or a
But,
man-made object can't really be God in my perception.
my sponsor said it's like you can have whatever you want, but if you ask a tree for help, how's the tree gonna help you?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know,
No, just
but that's me. I mean,
you
that's
would just
just
be one big sap, I guess.
yeah. Boom, boom.
It took me 5 seconds to come up with that.
Yeah.
Amber is asking if he is restless, irritable, and discontented, though. Was he is he one of those guys where, yeah, maybe like the people that are
If
like,
he is,
"I feel grateful."
if he is, he's had a chronic case of the ribs for 41 years.
Has he? Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't live with that.
No, me either. Mm-mm. Some people don't wanna. Some people fear the 10th step. They don't want to become sane. Um, you know, See, and yeah, Ingrid, thank you. Ingrid says, strip the religion out of the step, open your mind, and let the wonders of nature. The beauty equals serenity to me, and my HP is the universe. I almost do the same kind of concept. I'm a karmic kind of a person. You do good things and good things happen. You do bad things and bad things happen. you know. But yeah, I know a lot of people that believe in nature and it being, the whole thing, not just the tree, but the wonder of it all. You know,
Well, kind of
how
like,
how this
yeah,
bee pollinates this over here so that we can have honey and we can have flowers and. So there's just a lot of moving parts to make you not wonder that something's going on.
a Native American concept of spirituality.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that makes sense too that we're all part of the earth and we're connected. I understand that too. I do feel like we're spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being living in a human world. And and I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning. Yeah. Yeah, the ecosystem. Absolutely. An ecosystem can be a higher power because it's much bigger than you. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it.
Good to see you this morning.
And, huh?
Good to see you this morning.
Thanks. Yeah, I got up at 6:30.
Yeah, that didn't happen for me today.
Yeah. Well,
But
I've been all the way off my meds now for almost a week. and the meds make me sleep more and things like that. So now that I'm all the way off the meds, the actual Dion is coming out.
I sent you a list of like 10 places where you could that'll talk to you
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've kind of been looking
in
into that
Northland.
too. Um, I've also been doing some work around the halfway house and stuff. Um, Adams County reached back out to me. Actually, I got the email this
I,
morning, and they reached out to me and they said, "Okay, yeah," because I wrote them yesterday, and I said, "Okay, now we're 50th in the country. Are we done?" And they were like, "Yep, time to talk." So I need
yeah,
because
I was wondering about that post. It was like
it's time.
that somebody got a clue.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I did. I called her boss and told on her. I made it hurt. But now they're willing to talk. And I'm gonna make her job easier. I have her in mind too. She didn't get that job because she sucks at it. No, she's a great person. It's just her hands are tied too. And she's doing everything that she can. But you gotta make things happen. So yeah, I need the people in AA to stand up and say, this is what we need. And I will take all that information. I will go sit down and I will help them. You bet. So
What
that's
this isn't it's not Lynn, right?
I no.
Okay. I don't you
No,
not asking for detail, just
no, this is she is the person right below the executive director. I ended up calling Kelly, who is the executive director of Adams County Behavioral Health. And I left her a detailed message last week, and then suddenly I'm getting an answer. So I don't know if it was this or that, but I do know that they are now willing. Okay, Patricia, love
bye
you.
Patricia.
They're now
Well,
willing.
if we can get one county on board, maybe we'll get somebody's attention statewide,
That's what I'm doing. We got to
step by
set the,
step.
if I can run around and say, you need to change your this and change that, but until I provide the example,
Right.
they're not going to believe me.
It's one step at a time,
So,
man.
yeah. I'm looking into a couple other things. I don't know that the house itself needs to be 501c3. I don't see why it needs to be. If it is self-supporting, then it doesn't need it. So I need to have a little conversation. We need to have a little conversation on that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. We should be 501c3, but I don't know that we need it to open, is what I'm saying. So, because I've been looking at houses for rent. I'm going to start calling these people. I'm going to say, hey, I want to rent your house. This is what we're going to do. No. Okay, next call. Just like sales, I'm going to have to
Got to
go
be
through
a
a
big,
100 no's to get to a yes. So,
got to be a sizable house, dude. Wouldn't it?
sure, it does. Yeah. No, it should be a one bedroom. Sorry. You made me feel stupid, so I wanted revenge.
No, I didn't mean to make you
I
feel.
didn't say you.
I was
Let me
just,
rephrase that. It made me feel stupid, so I wanted revenge. Yes, it needs to be
I
four,
think
three
out loud a lot.
bedrooms with two full baths. It's got to have two full baths because you might have two guys that need to take a shower at once. And you know how it is in the morning. Everybody needs to pee. So what I did is I just went houses for rent in my area and went to all these other sites that people just renting houses. Um, I wish there was one where it said it's been posted for this long. So I find one where it's like it's been posted for 6 months and they're a little bit more desperate. So, but
Yeah, we might run into zoning issues. I don't know how they, if it depends on how somebody interprets that zoning for
correct.
wherever that is,
Yeah, and HOAs.
and those things. Yes,
Yeah, got to think of people in the neighborhood. I mean, that's why I would actually prefer to have a house that's a little out east that doesn't really have neighbors. That's what I would prefer. But got to start somewhere, right? So,
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
you know, so even if it's, who knows? Maybe God will give us a 2 bedroom house. We start with 5 guys. It's a start, but then we can always just add on another house. So um, I'm gonna be asking. I'm gonna ask Gabe. Uh, Gabe runs Discovery Cafe and several houses on the West Coast. He's Grand Junction, the I-70 corridor through the mountains. He does a really good job, and he's been helping me avoid the pitfalls. So he's like, Dion, if you go this route, okay. They said what you need to do is you just need to find somebody to believe in you, man. You need to find somebody that owns a house that believes in you, and that's going to take you some sales work.
I blows me away the contacts that you have, bro.
The what?
The contacts.
I've been working really hard the last 4 years.
Well, not only yeah, but you just have these contacts that you come across and basically filed away into your cabinet of stuff that you can
Yeah,
pull out and use.
everybody's got a passion. Everybody's got something that they're good at. And you're right. I look for that passion and I file it away. And then when I need it, I contact you. I'm really good at putting people together. I'm
Yeah,
really good.
it's
So
you amaze me with those abilities that you have, those type of things.
thank you. I appreciate that.
No, it's well earned
Yeah.
because I've been in this thing for 34 years, man, and I don't have those contacts.
I've been,
I have abilities, but they're not that tight. Once they're presented, I can work within that realm, usually with whatever. But
yeah, it's a
just
God.
pulling that out of a hat is not me.
It's one thing I'm proud of. If you need help, I just got your back. I just know I do.
That's a fact, bro.
Because God's got my back. That means I got your back. People, I'll start the house. People are like, "What about money?" I'm like, I don't understand.
Well, it's
Money.
just, the
Yeah,
fact is,
okay, you're right. We need money. I need.
right. But the fact is that you went out in the rain and got your feet wet.
Yeah. I love working the front lines. I love getting dirty. I just love it. I don't know. Um, it doesn't need to be bright and pretty. It doesn't need to be. You know, I'm a dive bar guy. So that's
You
the
say every time you say that, I think of Clowns In over off of Alameda and Federal
yeah,
by the White Horse.
yeah. That was called the dive in. I don't think I ever stopped by there.
Oh, I
Uh,
did.
I think it was shut down before I was legal age to drink.
What, Clowns In? No, they were a customer of mine on top of it because I knew about
Oh,
them.
Townsend. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I had it wrong in my head. My
it's
bad.
just down. The White. It's the White Horse is on the corner of Federal and Alameda, and Clowns Inn was about another half mile east.
Hmm.
Walk in, and it's like the floor is squished.
Squeesh.
You know,
Squeesh.
they had carpeting in the place, if you can
Yeah.
imagine.
Wow. I don't know why. Maybe because the cross streets. But did you ever go to the organ grinder over there? Yeah. Every kid should have experienced the organ grinder, man. I wish they wouldn't have shut it down. That was a really neat place. It was better than Casa Bonita. So
Right, right.
yeah, that
And then
big
there,
old organ and monkeys, and there were no
well, and
monkeys.
then there was that place on Broadway, in Inglewood, that had the indoor amusement park too.
Uh,
Um,
that was actually at Colorado Boulevard, Celebrity Sports.
no, not celebrity. I'm not talking about
Not
celebrity. I'm
Celebrity.
talking about this is way smaller. It was
Oh,
like look like a storefront. I can't remember it, but
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like Broadway and like Mexico. It's in Inglewood.
Somewhere right around there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Had a
right next
little
to
merry-go-round inside, and
yeah, and yeah, that's where you had your birthday parties if you couldn't afford Chuck E.
yes,
Cheese.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. I remember the first time I went to the Gothic Theater, I went and saw Clash of the Titans and Dragon Slayer. Dragon
Oh
Slayer.
my goodness.
Yeah, I'm that old. When they just came out as a double feature. That's what it is. It's fantastic fun, Amber.
Fantastic fun.
You win
Oh yeah,
today's prize.
I'm that old school. The Rainbow Music Hall, all that stuff.
Oh, oh yeah, the Rainbow Musical. Absolutely. Um, I always forget his name. The big producer, he brought the Beatles and
Oh, what's his name? Barry Fay.
Barry Fay. He was actually my best friend's mother's accountant. My best friend's mom was his accountant, and I met him. Um, he got, by the way, he died sober. He died with over 20 years of sobriety. But I cocaine with him once. And
I
then he
met
made
him
sure
through
to make
Peter
me.
Boyle.
I was 14, and I did coke with Barry Fay. Yeah.
Yep, I met him through Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle. I love Peter Boyle. Great guy. Done a lot.
That's
All
who I
right.
tried to contact, man. He didn't hit me back. So
Yeah, if it doesn't hurt them, they aren't gonna. That's the
well,
thing.
if it
If it doesn't
doesn't,
affect them, then they don't seem to
that and if they can't make a show out of it or something like that where they
get
think it's
something. Yeah,
going to help their ratings.
it's got to be a win-win for them, or they don't. Yeah, you know, because it's like I thought about getting a hold of Kyle Clark and having him blow the lid off everything, but until I have my ducks in a row, he ain't gonna say shit to me.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if his politics will allow that.
they see, and there's always it's hard. It's hard to work with people that have separate intentions. It's just, when that's why when we talk about all this stuff and money comes up, I'm like, what money? I don't know what you're talking about. Money, because money comes to me. So, but when you are being paid by somebody else, you've got to follow their rules. And that's the problem. That's why we will not take any government grants. We cannot follow their rules. We will lose the grant, and I can't do that. So
Yeah, he falls under whatever KUSA
entertainment.
kind of
Peter
says
Boyle's
dictates.
entertainment, sports. Well, he didn't do sports, but news.
Well, he hosts Next,
Yeah. Oh, Kyle
and
Clark. We're about
yeah.
I thought we were on Peter. No, yeah,
So,
Kyle. He
oh
does
no,
his
Peter. Peter kind of
People don't really know who he
he's
is.
been allowed to go off track. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way, many times.
yeah. He's a good guy, but uh, uh, all right.
All right, man.
I think I tried to end this 20 minutes ago, but
Yeah.
now my bladder is really full. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Peace, brother. Love you.
Peace out. And have
Bye,
a
everybody.